Being in Sequoia made me reflect on these past 6 years in the US. It's been a mix of growth, struggle, and learning things I never expected. The trees in Sequoia National Park have been growing for 1,000 years, going through all kinds of weather, storms, drought, fire, but they're still standing strong. Standing here, it's hard not to feel small. It reminds me a lot of my own journey in the US for the last 6 years. The feeling of being so small, coming from a small country like Cambodia, and the reflection of all the hardships I have gone through for the past few years and what have kept me strong until these days. When I left Cambodia and came to the US, I definitely felt so small. My background, my education, and my work experience became insignificant. Everything felt overwhelming and uncertain. But like these trees, over the years, I have learned that growth doesn't happen overnight, and even when I feel small, it doesn't mean I'm not growing. Because of how small I felt when I came to the US, so my only goal was to find stability, which was to get a good job with good benefits, with predictable routines, so then I know that I have that stability. I don't want to go through any uncertainty at all. So for a few years, I had to take many different type of jobs that I had never imagined myself doing before, because coming here, definitely the experience of me as an English teacher in Cambodia was not properly validated. So for a few years, I had to work as a food server, waitress, receptionist, anything that I could do to build my experience in order to achieve this goal of getting the job to work for a local government. And when I finally did it, I felt complete. I was proud, but unfortunately, that feeling didn't last that long. For a few years later, I felt like I was only growing in one direction. These trees reminded me that real growth isn't just about standing tall. It's about reaching wide, finding balance, and staying alive inside. My career path, combined with other personal struggles I had to go through for the past few years, had taught me the beauty of letting go. Thanks to all the books I've read and all the podcasts I've listened to during my hardships and breakdowns, I've learned that letting go of the expectation I carried within me have given me so much more inner peace. I'm learning to let go the idea that success had to look a certain way, the perfect timeline, the right age to have kids, and the social life patterns I have to follow. Sequoias let go of old bark and broken limbs to keep growing. And I think as human, there are also certain things we need to let go to keep growing as well. Another big struggle for me being in the US is finding that sense of belonging. It has always been hard for me to really engage in a real conversation with the locals here, especially because of how introverted I am. I came from a very protective family. I grew up very sheltered. I didn't have many opportunities to really go out to the world and explore what's out there. Coming to the US was the very first time I really stepped away from home. So for that reason, it's been very hard for me to go out there and make more friends. And even at work, I feel like a lot of time I'm out of space due to the different culture and the different mindset. It's nothing wrong with the locals here. I'm not trying to say that it's impossible to talk to them or anything. It's just when you grow up in a different society and different culture, it's hard to really relate or engage in the conversation that you can't really understand. And it's not the language barrier, but it's just whatever the topic that they talk about can be something that I can't really relate at all. But over time, I also found my moments of belonging here. A small circle of close friends and a place where I can feel like home again. Though being far away from family has never got easier, I have found ways to adapt and go around it. Even US was a place that felt so different, I started to get used to it and feel like I was growing. This year, I made the biggest choice of all. I quit that job that I really wanted for so long, and just to not know what I'm going to do next. Some days I wake up feeling great because the decision feels brave, and some day I feel like the decision is reckless and I wake up with anxiety. But being in Sequoia right now, looking at all these trees reminds me that trees didn't grow by staying safe. They grew by adapting, by trusting their roots, and by reaching for the light. Six years in the US have taught me that growth can be slow, but definitely not invisible. There's also not a moment in life where I can feel so certain either. There's always a path that I need to choose, and each path will lead me to different destinations and different outcomes. My journey for the past few years have definitely shaped my mindset in a way I have never imagined. I don't know what exactly I am going to do next. I might go back to work. I might find a different path in life, which it's possible. But I want to remind myself to keep looking back of how far I have come, and also to applaud myself for how far I have come as well, because even though it's slow, but I'm definitely feel like I'm growing. And right now, standing between these trees, looking at all these trees, I feel hopeful. The future is uncertain and unpredictable, but that's okay. Nothing is in our control anyway, so all I need to do is to keep showing up and keep going forward.